Hey everyone, I hope you all enjoyed Task 4. This task has a pretty interesting backstory behind it. Originally, it was going to be in Wooded Kingdom and started by warping to the Station 8 checkpoint and ending by busting 3 nuts of your choosing. This task was a fine idea, but when I tested it during the week of Task 3, I realized that there was really only 2 obvious routes, both of which in an optimal run would likely involve a frame throw, as well as either a stun cancel or insta-nut, which just are not fun tricks to grind. This led to me really wanting to find an alternate task, and I spent hours looking through several different kingdoms before settling on this one in Snow. I wanted to do something involving this moon up on the ice, and I decided on having the stump and the notes serve as the other objectives since they're pretty spread apart. I also liked the idea of notes as an objective because I thought it'd be cool having to decide between doing notes earlier but having to deal with its cutscene, and doing it at the end where you wouldn't have to deal with the cutscene. What I overlooked, however, is just how fast doing notes first was. This unfortunately led to not as much route diversity as I was hoping for in this task, but I still think it was a pretty good one with some interesting strats from everyone who participated. With that being said, let's take a look at our top 4. Each of our runners in the top 4 returned from previous tasks in the series. At 4th place is Pajolu, who returns to the top 4 after getting 2nd in last week's task. At 3rd is Daniel, who got 2nd in task 2. In 2nd is Zypher with his 3rd top 4 of the series after getting 3rd in task 1 and 4th in task 2. And continuing his win streak is, once again, Buster Doggy. At this point I'm starting to question if he'll be beaten in any of these tasks. Each of our runners start at the Icewell checkpoint and do the same order of objectives, although there is definitely some different movement between them. Starting off with Pajoli's run, he starts by spin pounding and rolling backwards. Each of our 4 runners make sure to go on the right side of the hill, which is actually a bit faster as it gives the roll boost you do before entering the water much more speed. Then Pajolu jumps out of the water, cap throws towards the notes, and homes in as he dives back toward the beginning area. This is when most submissions started to differ. Pajulu sinks into the water a bit before jumping out and doing 2 roll boosts on the hill. He then does an up throw roll cancel into a triple jump off of this platform before doing a terrain bounce and wall jump to get to the top of the iceberg. Instead of a simple cap throw dive to the top of the ice like the other runners did, Pajulu does a spin throw so that he can get a triple throw to pull out the stump, which is a really cool idea, but unfortunately seems like it was very slightly slower than the spin throw to the stump. Overall, a very solid run from Pajulu. Next up is Daniel, who has pretty similar strats to Pajulu in the beginning. After cap throwing to the notes, he notably does the dive a little bit more to the right than Pajulu did, which allows him to get back to the land a little bit quicker. He also does a cap return jump instead of a regular double jump, which may have also saved him a couple frames. Instead of the triple throw strat Pajulu did at the end, Daniel lands in the area below and uses the momentum from the roll to get a fast spin throw to the stump, ending with a time of just over 11 seconds. In second place is Zypher, who probably has the most interesting strats in the top 4. He starts his run the same as Pajulu and Daniel, but after diving onto the ground, he instead does a jump into a dive vault off of this slope. He does this dive vault at the perfect angle so that Cappy comes back to him right as he lands on this upper platform, and he's able to get a cap return jump onto this small icicle and triple jump off it, giving him more height than the others. This allows him to dive immediately onto the ice after the terrain bounce without having to do any wall jump. This is a really cool strat, and congrats to Zypher for getting a sub 11 time. Buster does the same strats as Daniel, except there's some small time saves throughout that are easy to miss. The main one being that he does the cap throw towards the notes as far away as possible, so that when he lands from the dive, he can cap return jump out of the water almost instantly, without having to sink in the water before being able to jump out. This seems to have saved him a lot over the other runners, and he was also able to get 3 roll boosts before the up throw roll cancel instead of 2. I think this beginning is what made Buster's run better than Zypher's, as I think the triple jump off the icicle was definitely the fastest strat for the middle section of this task. Congrats again to Buster for continuing to impress every week. Moving on, I want to give some honorable mentions to a few of the other interesting runs outside of the top 4. Snitch had this really cool run using the Odyssey that utilizes a down throw to hit the stump, while still making it back up to the upper platform, so that he can then jump over to the ice. This was a really cool strat that I didn't think was possible in making this task, but unfortunately the route wasn't nearly as fast as anything from the ice well checkpoint. Shaken Not Stirred didn't use this strat in his submission, but I do want to acknowledge that this nut can actually spawn the notes, which was something I really wish was utilized because it's probably not a whole lot slower optimally, and it's really cool. Anyways, that's it for this week's results. As always, huge shoutouts to Mark Lukas for creating these videos every week, and to Eaglegamer for helping create these tasks. See you guys next week for Task 5.